creating content with a view to distributing for mass coverage can really be a challenge. So Google's whole thing since the dawn of time is just make good content and then the traffic will flow. But we all know the old build it and they will come philosophy is kind of nonsense when we're talking about SEO. So we've all been in a place where we make a new piece of content, put it out into the world, and we patiently wait for our analytics to spike, but nothing actually happens and we just get the same traffic we always get. So what went wrong? I really can't cope with this lack of traffic. See what I've done there? Today we're going to be introducing a concept called C.O.P.E, which stands for Create Once, Publish Everywhere. Essentially it means taking a core piece of content and then spinning it out into little bite-sized chunks that are more suitable for social platforms. So by doing this you can increase your footprint because of these two major things. First and foremost, you're going to be ranking for a lot more long-tail terms, which is a form of parasite or barnacle SEO. You're also now appearing in news feeds more consistently, and as a result are going to get much more traffic. So for example, if this is a news feed, as you can see here, as people are scrolling through and seeing it, you would be the orange ones here. You're being seen more and more and more. Okay, so before I start showing you the type A C.O.P.E strategy, a little word of advice. You need a home to point people to and capture subscriptions if possible. There's no point in just randomly posting things because if you're doing that, there's no real strategy. Uploading to the platforms and linking out some of the time will increase your reach and build your audience, but it's not going to hit what you core want to happen. An example is look at some of these big viral news sites. You'll notice that they randomly upload like a video of a cat. Why are they doing that? Well, that's because they're hacking the Facebook algorithm. Now, when Type A Media were consulting for the biggest Facebook page in the world, we would post every single hour, but we would only link twice a day. So stage one of a C.O.P.E strategy is deciding on the platforms you're going to use and why, and what their main KPI and function is. So we've got this here. So first and foremost, we're going to decide on the primary role of each channel, the content type, content format, posting frequency, and KPI. And once we've decided that, we need to look at our pillar content and decide how it's all going to be distributed. So for this example, let's take the Canonical Chronicle, which is a show that I do every week about SEO news. And so what we can see here is we've got a core piece of content that sits on the site, that's .com, and that's for lead generation. The content type is Canonical Chronicle, that's the news. And then the format is one long form video with a blog post with it. Frequency is every single week. And what our KPI is, I want to get 10 email subscriptions for that piece every single week. Cool. Moving on, when I'm actually going to Facebook, thinking about that channel, it's completely different to how people will actually act on the site. So primary role, brand awareness. I don't actually want to convert anyone at this point. We're going to get snippets of news. So the Canonical Chronicle has about 5 news stories every single week. And I'm going to cut them in to individual little news stories and seed them out over time. Bite-sized 60-second chunks every single day. What I care about? Engaged views. I don't actually care if they're clicking out. I just want you to watch and watch and watch. Then we go on to Instagram, the exact same thing, but there is still a little bit of organic to be had inside of Instagram. So I actually want brand growth. I want my Instagram page to be growing over time. What am I going to be doing there? I'm not actually going to use the content. I'm going to take screenshots, for example, like this. And then I'm going to put some sort of call to action or some sort of text over the top of it to share. We're going to do that every single day, and I want to grow the channel. Next is a biggie, it's our YouTube. We care about lead generation there. I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is for the Canonical Chronicle. Again, it's long form and weekly, and I care about subscribers. You're starting to see where all this stuff's starting to develop. Then we've got Twitter, that's more promotional. We don't actually care if anything happens there. We're doing that 5 times a day, just blasting you in the face with this constantly. What do I care about? Clicks into .com. And then lastly is the podcast. Because we've just created something that's long form, I'm going to take the audio from that and stick it onto all the podcast networks. I care about brand affinity at that point. Brand affinity is someone who is really cares about the brand and they keep coming back for more and more and more. I'm kind of nurturing you. In my line of work in SEO, when you decide to create, start to go with an SEO agency, you don't do it straight away. It takes you a little bit of time between actually deciding you need something and finding the right one. So I want to nurture you with my podcast. I'm giving you commentary on the news that's happened. It's all audio, weekly, and I care about subscribers and listeners. Really easy stuff. Okay, so we've now decided all the channels we're going to be using, what we're going to be doing with the content and what we care about in terms of KPIs. Now we need to actually have a look at the funnel itself and work out how all of this stuff is going to interact with one another. See, it's all very well and good saying we're going to post on all of these channels, but how are they interacting? Are we going to point always to .com or are they going to talk to each other? So from here, this is how I want you to think. Going right into the middle, core KPI for us, leads. That's in the .com. Then taking one step out, nurture, and getting non-paid acquisition, meaning that if I'm paying for advertising, I want to take you out of the paid funnel and into the non-paid acquisition. I want your email or us to be a subscriber, essentially. We're going to use for that YouTube and also the podcast. Then taking one out from that as well, I care about brand awareness. We're getting more top of funnel, further away from the sales. To do that, I'm using Instagram and I'm using Facebook, and I care about engagement and brand awareness. And then outside of that, I need you to actually discover this content. So for discovery, we're just going to be blasting things like Twitter, because that's very much a discovery type of network. And from here, what we're going to do is go into here and start working out how all of these things talk to each other, because we've got 5 Facebook posts, 5 Instagram posts, a multitude of tweets, and a single video in the middle, a podcast and a YouTube video. So at that point, I'd start designing the flow and how they're all going to interact with each other and click onto each other. Now, you can see there that's with only a very small amount of channels with one single piece of content. So if you had multiple concepts for your content, this can get really complicated really quickly. So it's important you have a decent strategy and decent tactics to implement it so you actually get what you want. So that's everything for this week's Weekly Wisdom. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please do comment down below if you've got any questions for me. I'd love to see your social strategy as well. Also, if you want the digital version of all of this, the exact documents we use as an agency, email me cope@typemedia.co.uk and an autoresponder will send you a link to all the documents free of charge. But until next time, we will see you later.